sat on my window, and they told me I don't need to worry. Summer came like cinnamon, so sweet. Little girls double dark.
We need to synchronize.
What clock are you looking at?
I don't know.
Can you wait till it comes on TV?
Yeah.
All right.
Don't get nervous.
There you
Hey.
go. Showtime.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the February 19th, 2018 Crest Hill City Council meeting to order. If everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag and please remain standing after the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In light of the tragedies that have taken place in the last week throughout the United States, we certainly would like to offer a moment of silence first for the 17 young victims in Parkland, Florida at the high school, another act of terrorism within the United States. And we certainly hope that some legislation will change here quickly. But we certainly want to pray for them. We certainly want to pray for the first responders, for the families, for everybody to get through the next few weeks and get back to a semi-normal life. We also would like to offer our condolences to Chicago Police Commander Paul Bauer and his family. Another senseless tragedy within the city of Chicago. From all indications, he was a fine gentleman, fine police officer, fine father, and a fine husband. So we would like to extend our condolences to his family and keep them in your prayers for their condolences for the next few weeks also. And then thirdly, the city of Crest Hill lost a longtime resident the last week by the name of Ray Glavin. He served on the Crest Hill Police Pension Board for many years under Mayor Randich. Lived his entire life in the city of Crest Hill. Well-respected gentleman, so we offer our condolences to his family and keep him in your prayers also. So for all three, for Parkland, Florida, for Commander Paul Bauer, and for past Police Pension Commissioner Ray Glavin, I would ask for a moment of silence in memory of all three of them. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Ray Solomon.
Here.
Glenn Conklin.
Present.
Scott Dyke.
Here.
John Verche.
Here.
Barbara Scalera. Here. Claudia Gazal.
Here.
Tina Oberlin.
Present.
Marco Colipietro.
Here.
Nate Albert.
Here.
Tom Inman.
Here.
Okay, you have before you the minutes of the February 5th, 2018 Crest Hill City Council meeting. Motion would be in order.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Alderwoman Scalera, seconded by Alderman Colipietro. Questions or comments in regards to the motion? Roll call, please.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
John Verche.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Tom Inman.
Yes.
Marco Colipietro.
Yes.
Barbara Scalera.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we do not have a business promotion this evening, so we will go on to our City Administrator, Heather McGuire. Good evening, Heather.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have two agenda items for consideration this evening. The first is the AT&T Fiber Internet Agreement. As discussed at the February 12th work session, this would be for a 24-month agreement. Installation will take approximately 90 days. The total cost will be for $798 a month, and this would run about the same expiration as the current internet for the waste treatment plant that expires in July of 2020.
Motion would be in order.
So moved.
Second.
We have motion by Alderman Inman, seconded by Alderman Verche. Questions or comments in regards to the AT&T Fiber Internet Agreement?
Well, I just had a couple of questions because there's a lot of numbers thrown out all over these pages. And I know you just quoted a figure, but I guess I'm looking for a place on here where we have a specific cost to us, and maybe I'm just stupid and did not see it.
The first page, which adds in that 686, is the document from AT&T, and then the 798 would include all of the taxes as well. Unfortunately, this is how their pricing sheet works, and this is as specific as we could get with them, which is why we attached that front page to it as well.
But where it says total, it says 0.
Correct, because with that, it also includes if we decided to upgrade the internet to that 100, so that's their base level price.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Barbara Scoler. Yes. Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
No,
Marco Pietro.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Tom Inman.
Yes.
John Verche.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The final item I have for consideration is an amendment to PMA Financial Advisory Agreement. As we continue to meet with PMA to discuss finances and potential new buildings and how we would finance those, they would just need to amend this to add the language as indicated on my memo of other capital projects, which was just inadvertently left off their last agreement. So I'd be seeking approval on that this evening as well.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Dyke, seconded by Alderwoman Gazal. Questions or comments in regards to the amendment to PMA Financial Advisory Agreement? Roll call, please.
Barbara Scoler. Yes. John Verche.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Marco Pietro.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Tom Inman.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. That was the final item for consideration this evening. My report is in your packet, and for the public's information, we will be holding a work session on February 26th. Current topics include electronic CCRs, CPAD officer, and liquor license for Siegel's Cottonwood Farms. I would be happy to answer any questions you have at this time.
Heather,
Go ahead.
can we please add a topic, honorary streets within the city of Crest Hill to next week's work session?
I can do that, and I
Shouldn't
will...
take very long.
Sure, absolutely.
Any questions, any other questions of City Administrator? Thanks, Heather. Moving on, Public Works Department, our Director of Public Works, Tony Terez. Good evening, Tony.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Nothing, excuse me, nothing for the council agenda tonight. I do have a informational report with the administrators as informational. I'd be glad to answer any questions the council may have.
Any questions of Public Works?
I just want to, Tony, compliment your department and you as well for all the hard work and dedication with the snowstorm that we had. It was nonstop, the phone calls for some of the people that were impatient, but you guys were on top of it. So I appreciate your hard work and dedication. Can you please pass on?
I will,
to
thank you.
everyone?
Yeah, I certainly want to piggyback on that. The gentleman did a fantastic job over the four-day event. We got a little bit of a reprieve on Saturday, but I think we ended up with 15.5 inches in 3 days. And it really was pretty much around the clock there, except for a little break on Saturday. But we were well covered with crews that were going to be out there for 64 hours. And, you know, I know there was some people that get upset when the snow gets thrown back in their driveways, but I don't know of any other way to clean the streets. And if anybody has a suggestion on how to do that, I'm certainly open for it. I'm sure you would be too, Tony. But our responsibility is to clear the snow off the streets, make sure it's passable for the residents, and make sure it's passable for emergency situations. And I would just like to echo what Claudia said, that the guys did a fantastic job out there. It wasn't only that weekend. I mean, the last 2 weeks have been pretty heavy hit with snow here, and a lot of days where they were here for their 16-hour shifts and went home and then came back. So thanks for their commitment, their dedication to the city. And I think that most people in the city were very complimentary of the job that they did in clearing the streets.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to also thank Chief Clark for his assistance. We stayed in contact well ahead of the storm, and they helped us move some of the cars that were unfortunately parked in the street for a duration of time, making it difficult for our plows to get the roads cleared up. But we worked in unison, and I think we worked well. Thank you.
I was going to cover that part with Ed, but now that you brought it up, I made myself many calls and I text you many, and it was really hard to plow. And that was the main complaint of a lot of people. It was that, why there was car parked, and I'm like, well, let's call the police. I mean, but I understand, like, you guys were on top of it. I was constantly calling you, texting you, and called a non-emergency number. I mean, as you know, Borio, Zauza, McGillivray, we have tons of cars were parked there. And until today, you go to Borio and there's like 2 cars that's still like blocked with snow. But again, thank you for everything. And yeah, Mayor, there's no solution for the driveway because we have private community. And that was the complaint. I mean, my phone was nonstop from 5 o'clock. People upset because their driveway was blocked. I had to go out there myself and clean my driveway every time the snow plows that came. And we are private, so we have like private contract. So it's kind of hard when this amount of snow, over 20 inches, sometime we have to be compromised too and understandable. But that's my comment for tonight.
Any other comments? Okay, thanks, Tony.
You're welcome.
Moving on to Community Development Department, our Economic Development Director, Scott McMaster. Good evening, Scott.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I do not have any agenda items this evening. I would like to address a phone call that I received last week about the South Weber Plaza. Somebody had called and asked why they were taking down some of the old signs like Bouncing Bonkers and Just Jokes. And I reassured them that new owners have now bought the building and are working on filling those spaces. We just had a meeting with a gaming cafe that's going next to Firewater. There's also going to be a salon, a Zumba workout place, whatever that is, and then a day spa that will be taking over the old Bouncing Bonkers, in addition to a couple other things that those folks have going on. So rest assured that they are looking to fill that whole plaza by the end of summer is what they're telling me. So yeah, that's good news for the city of Crest Hill, and that's certainly good news for Firewater and Southern Cafe. So with that, I will answer any questions.
It's an aggressive group.
Yes.
Scott, can you just report on what they're actually doing at the Menards building? Are they adding on to the building, or are they just remodeling?
They are adding on to the, I believe, the east side of the building there. It was quite a big construction project. And for those who don't know, this Menards here in Crest Hill is one of the better producing Menards in the area. So I don't have any doubt that they will be here for a while, and hopefully we can build off their success there on Weber Road.
Great, thanks.
Any other questions of economic development? Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Moving on to Police Department, Police Chief Ed Clark. Good evening, Ed.
Evening, Mayor and Council. First thing I have on the agenda is an ordinance to surplus 3 vehicles. This is going in hand with our capital vehicle purchasing program. It's the back end of it. These vehicles are ready for surplus and eventually to be auctioned. So I'd be requesting that approval.
Motion would be in order.
So moved as presented.
Second.
Motion by Alderwoman Overland, seconded by Alderman Inman for the disposal of personal property. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Nate Albert?
Yes.
Marco Cole DePietro?
Yes.
Claudia Gazal?
Yes.
Barbara Scoler?
Yes.
John Verche?
Yes.
Scott Dyke?
Yes.
Tina Oberlin?
Yes.
Tom Inman.
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance number is 1770.
Thank you. Just a couple quick things as well as March 10th, we're going to be participating again in the polar plunge for Special Olympics. I was hoping the weather was going to be as warm as last year, and I don't think it's going to be quite as warm, so it should be interesting. But if anybody would like to donate, you can donate if you go on the website of plungeillinois.com, and you can click and find our team, which is the Crest Hill Frostbite. So please donate, and hopefully you won't get frostbite, but we'll see how it goes.
Can you say that slowly?
Yeah.
For people?
Plungeillinois.com.
Thank you.
Another thing that I'm pretty happy with is our department over the last year. We raised $5,906.80 for Special Olympics of Illinois, and apparently you get a plaque for that, so I was very happy when I received this in the, an officer actually dropped it off, so it was very nice. So I'm very proud of the officers that they participate in just giving back to the community, doing the best we can for the community, so just kind of congratulations to them. And other than that, reports are in file. I'll entertain any questions.
Any questions of the police chief?
Yeah, Chief, back at the January 15th council meeting, I had asked you if maybe you and Tony could get together and talk about parking for Hickory Street during snow. I wonder if you've had that opportunity yet?
No, we have not. I can talk with Tony as well.
I was wondering maybe if we could add that to our next work session. Would that be a possibility for both of you to?
If council wishes so, that's fine.
I'd like to see if we could do that, and any other issues, with parking during snow in the city. If any other wards have any issues, maybe we could work them out that night.
Good enough.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
I will say that there's a memo in your packet from the police chief that there were 245 snowfall parking citations were issued between February 5th and February 11th, it looks like. There were also 6 vehicles that were towed. I think that, I know that there were email blasts, there was information on the website in regards to snowfall parking. I think everybody knew the amount of snow that was coming here in the last week. I think that we have given enough free passes in the past, so I want to give the police department kudos because, there's some responsibility by the homeowner too to make sure that you move your car off the street so our snow plows can plow and make the streets passable. And I think that many verbal warnings were given in the past, and it seems like it's a lot of times the same offenders. So kudos to the department for writing all those citations, for towing the vehicles, because that's one of the cultures that we need to change here. With all the news media, between the telephones, the television, everybody knows when the snowstorms are coming. And I think we've been more than lenient in the past when it's been 2, 3, 4 inches. But with this one here, it's difficult enough to be out there plowing snow and have to worry about a car or a young child running into the street or whatever. So we have to think about the safety of our drivers, the safety of everybody in the neighborhoods also. So hopefully we'll have future cooperation from everybody to move the vehicles off the street, either work something out with your neighbors into a private lot, whatever it needs to be done, until the snow falls and the streets can be cleaned, and then you're more than welcome to put the car back on the street. So
Yeah, I
thanks.
agree, and to add it to the fact of the snow parking, they're handling traffic crashes, they're handling things of that sort due to the bad weather, so it was a busy few days, so they did a really, really good job and were able to get on top of it, so.
Any other comments? Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Moving on to the mayor's report, I do not have any agenda items, I just have one announcement. Jeff Hetrick was here a couple weeks ago in regards to the smart meters and the change-outs that's going to happen. The question came up about the LED street lights, and last week I did get a email from Jeff that Crest Hill is on the docket. We were for 2019, we've been pushed up to this summer, the summer of 2018. So the street lights throughout the entire city of Crest Hill will be starting to change from the mercury vapors that we have there now to the LEDs throughout the neighborhoods. They're looking at maybe a July or August start. It's going to take a little bit of time. Once they do start, it's going to throw more light, it's going to be less energy to be used, and it's going to be less of a bill for the city of Crest Hill. I'm sure that you can see a lot of the lights have been changed to LED already on Theodore Street, on Plainfield Road. There are certain sections on the main arteries throughout the city. It is a much brighter light, but it is less intense. And this is going to be something that's going to be very good for the city of Crest Hill once all of these lights are changed out. So that's the announcement for this evening. So that is supposed to start late summer into early fall for the city of Crest Hill throughout the entire city. With that, I will be certainly glad to answer any questions that anybody may have. Moving on to the city clerk's report, our city clerk, Vicki Hackney. Good evening, Vicki.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have nothing on the agenda this evening, but would welcome any questions of the clerk's office.
Hearing none,
Thank you.
thank you. Moving on to our city treasurer, Glenn Conklin. Good evening, Glenn.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I would like to report our regular and overtime payroll from January 22nd, 2018 through February 4th, 2018 in the amount of $200,897.38. I seek your approval on our list of bills. which totals $307,922.99.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Dyke, seconded by Alderman Verche. Questions or comments in regards to the list of bills? Roll call.
Tom Inman.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Marco Cole-DePietro.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes?
Barbara Scoler.
Yes.
John Verche.
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you all. Any questions if you have, or if you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Any questions of the city treasurer?
Hearing none, good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Unfinished business, nothing on the agenda. Anybody? New business? Anybody? Committee liaison reports. Any reports this evening? City council comments. These are positive city council comments. Anything you'd like to share with your constituents? Anybody like to go first? Alderwoman Gazal.
I'm gonna let her go first because she's gonna make an announcement. I'm gonna
Alderwoman
finish
Sclair.
Go ahead.
Well, Claudia and I would just like to remind the residents in Ward 2 that we are having an informational meeting on February 27th. It'll be at 6:30, and that is a Tuesday, so to the residents of Ward 2, please attend. We'd love to see you.
And just to tap on that will be for the community subdivisions, Arbor Glen, Fleets of Long Meadow, Remington Lakes, and will be, the chief of the police will be there, and we'll be talking about safety, neighborhood watch, and any other questions or concerns. Also, happy President's Day to everyone. And I just want to touch something a little bit quick on what the mayor said about what happened, the tragedy. I have kids that go to school, and I can't even imagine being in the spot of these parents. And I don't want to bring politics to this table, but I am tonight. Just remember gun control. It's really important. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Ward 1, Alderman Verche.
Nothing at this time.
Alderman Dyke.
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Ward 3, Alderwoman Oberlin.
Nothing at this time.
Alderman Cola DiPietro.
Nothing, Mayor.
Ward 4, Alderman Albert.
Nothing, Mayor.
Alderman Inman.
I'd just like to say I hope everybody had a wonderful Valentine's Day. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay. Public comment. If anybody would like to address City Council, you need to come to the podium, state your name for the record. Your address is optional. Bill, you are a lone guest tonight. Let the record show that no one has approached the podium. To the city administrator, Heather, is there a need for an executive session?
No, there's not, Mayor.
Motion to adjourn, Mayor.
We have a motion for an adjournment by Alderman Dyke, seconded by Alderman Verche. Questions or comments of the motion? Roll call, please.
Tom Inman.
Yes.
Nate Albert.
Yes.
Marco Cole-DePietro.
Yes.
Claudia Gazal.
Yes.
Tina Oberlin.
Yes.
Barbara Scoler.
Yes.
John Verche.
Yes.
Scott Dyke.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Meeting is adjourned at 7:24 p.m. Thank you and good evening.
That was almost as fast as when John did it.